Hello there everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I am going to talk about the brand new Predator Badlands film. So this film is an upcoming American science fiction action film in the Predator franchise. It is the 7th film in the main line series and the 9th in the overall franchise. Obviously, let's talk about that that's two numbers or those two missing numbers there, because obviously we have the 7th film in the mainline series and the 9th in the overall franchise. What does that mean? Obviously we have the two Alien versus Predator films, including obviously in those 9 films, and I'm going to talk about Aliens and Predators, obviously maybe meeting up once again in a couple of minutes. So, alright, the film is directed by Dan Trachtenberg, co-written by Trachtenberg and Patrick Awison, I think, Asen, or something like that, and stars Ella Fanning and Dimitris Schuster Kologamadanghi. I believe, hopefully I pronounce that right, because that's a very difficult name to pronounce, but alright. Dan Trachtenberg, obviously, he made his feature film debut with 10 Cloverfield Lane in 2016, earning him a Directors Guild of America Award nomination for Outstanding Directing. First time feature film. He went on to direct and provide the story for 3 films in the Predator franchise, including Prey 2022 and Predator Badlands 2025. Alright, as well as the animated film Predator Killer of Killers, which I thought was a really great film, to be honest. I think it was obviously adult orientated, because obviously we had a lot of graphic things in that film too, but it was still an animated, adult film, right? Which is really interesting. For obviously television, he directed the pilot episodes of The Boys 2019. Oh, that's interesting. And The Lost Symbol 2021, as well as episodes of Black Mirror 2016 and Stranger Things 2025, which is really interesting. Trachtenberg was one of the 3 hosts of the Totally Rad Show podcast and the former co-host of the Geek Drum podcast. He also directed episodes of Control plus Alt plus Chicken podcast. All 3 programs were hosted at Revision 3. He also directed the 2011 short film Portal No Escape and various television commercials and public service announcements. Dudes, Portal No Escape, that short film is really cool, because obviously Portal No Escape is a short fan film based on the Portal video game series directed by Dan Trachtenberg. The film was released on August 23rd 2011. As of July 2022, the video has received over 27 million views, which is quite good actually. So yeah, Portal is also one of my favorite games, and I didn't really know that Dan Trachtenberg actually directed that one, which is obviously really interesting. In the future, on a remote planet, a young predator outcast from his clan finds an unlikely ally and Tia, and embarks on a treacherous journey in search of the ultimate adversary. Obviously quoted by Walt Disney Company, obviously that now own the rights to the Predator franchise and the Alien franchise. Obviously they bought, what was it? I believe 20th Century Fox, obviously, which is really interesting. And now, because of that deal, they can make X-Men films under the, I guess, Disney banner, right? And also Predator films and Alien films, which is really interesting. Predator Badlands is the second installment to this brand new Dan Trachtenberg Predator, I guess I would say, universe. The first one was Prey, and I really love Prey, man. Holy shit. Like, I do really adore Prey. I think that's one of the most brilliant films made. And I think in the new, I guess, rebooted franchise of Predator and Alien, and like the brand new, it's a brand new reboot, right? But I think Prey is really cool. And obviously Prey is about, I guess, like a Native American girl, obviously, that fights this young predator, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, because this Native American girl versus like an alien with technology that it's much more advanced than her is really interesting. And obviously, because we're talking also about Alien, I also really love Alien Romulus, and I think it's great to have those films. And actually, as a franchise that's been spanning across these years, obviously first appearing in the 80s and the 70s, like the Alien first appeared in the 70s, and I think the Predator first appeared in the 80s. It's really nice to have, fans like me, new fans, get introduced to this brand new, I guess, universe. But alright, there we go. So in February 2024, it was revealed that the standalone film in the Predator franchise titled Badlands was in development, set to be directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who previously worked on Prey 2022 and Predator Killer of Killers 2025, and co-written by Patrick Owison, who wrote Prey. The director cited stylistic and thematic influences from the works of Frank Frazetta and Terrence Malick, Conan the Barbarian, Drax the Destroyer, the films Shane. Oh, that's interesting. Guardians of the Galaxy reference there. So, the films Shane, Mad Max 2 from the 80s, The Book of Ellie, as well as Clint Eastwood westerns, and the video game Shadow of the Colossus. In June, Ella Fanning was in talks to join the film in the lead role, with her casting confirmed in August. Drawing influence from the franchise's expanded universe, Badlands is intended to be a self-contained entry in the series, set on the Predator's homeworld and focusing on the culture of their species. To this end, a consistent written and verbal language for the Predators was developed for the film by linguist who created the Na'vi language for the film Avatar. In a departure from previous films, the Predator Dak is the protagonist rather than an antagonist. Dak is portrayed by stuntman Dimitrius Schuster Kolagamandanki, I think, who also learned the Predator language specifically for the role. To create Dak's physical appearance, Studio Gillis designed a creature suit to portray Dak's body, while Dak's face was digitally enhanced using motion capture computed animation technology to convey more subtle emotional expressions. Weta Workshop also contributed to the film's practical effects and designs. The fictional Wayland Utoni Corporation, featured in the Alien franchise, also appears in the film. Yet another, reference to the Alien franchise in this brand new Predator film, which is really interesting. Principal photography began in New Zealand by August 27th, 2024, under the working title Backpack, and wrapped in late October. So that's interesting. So 2 months of filming, alright. Or at least 2 months of filming, right? Jeff Cutter served as the cinematographer after previously working with Trachtenberg or Prey. Alright. Olivier Demont and Kathy Siegel served as the film's production visual effects supervisor and visual effects producer, respectively, creating the film's computer-generated imagery through visual effects vendors Industry Light and Magic, obviously the company of George Lucas, right? Weta FX or Weta VFX, Rising Sun Pictures, Traxxer, important-looking Pirates, the Yard VFX, and Framestore. According to the director, every shot on the film required visual effects work. So in June 2025, it was announced that Predator Badlands would have a all-age presentation at San Diego Comic-Con later that year. So in this upcoming San Diego Comic-Con, by the time you're watching this, obviously I'm recording this on the 22nd of July. So that means that later this year, that obviously this Predator Badlands film will have this Hall H panel, right? But obviously we also have the film release in November, right? So maybe around September, maybe around August, San Diego Comic Con will air. I'm not quite sure when it actually begins, but whatever. Alright, Predator Badlands is scheduled to be theatrically released in the United States on the 7th of November 2025 in Real D 3D, which is interesting. I mean, what does it even mean? A Real D 3D is a digital stereoscopic projection technology made and sold by Real ID. It is currently the most widely used technology for watching 3D films in theaters. Wait, this film will release in 3D? That's interesting. Okay, fair enough. I didn't really know that, but okay. Dan Trachtenberg has stated he had 3 initial Predator films in mind to make after the success of Prey. Depending on the success of Predator Badlands, he plans to direct the follow-up. So, let's go back to Killer of Killers, which is this animated Predator film. In that film, we also saw that, oh god, I need to go back to the page that I found, obviously, about Prey, the girl's name of that film. So Naru, a young Comanche woman trained as a healer. So she was actually imprisoned by the Predators. I'm not quite sure how that actually went, but she was stuck in the ship of the Predators. During Killer of Killers, she was like frozen in this kind of like stasis, right? We also had the main characters of killers like a Viking, a samurai, or ninja, and obviously a U.S. Army soldier who all actually escaped that ship, but obviously Naru didn't. So I'm not quite sure where that will take us. Obviously, Predator can go many routes after that. It doesn't need to be a sequel, obviously, to Prey or Badlands. You can also have obviously a brand new film about a predator landing on a specific place and trying to kill persons and people. That's also fair enough, right? That makes a lot of sense, because I think we had Killer of Killers, we had like a Viking fighting a predator, we had like a samurai fighting a predator. It would be very cool to see, like, let's see here, a predator versus a knight, right? You go to maybe medieval England or medieval, I'm not quite sure, Europe. Yeah, I guess, yeah, medieval Europe would also work, right? You have like the other culture. So there we go. Maybe hell, maybe a predator versus a French knight could be very funny. But I think predator, you can go a lot of ways, and I think Dan Trachtenberg is making that way. He's making different kinds of films and seeing what fits. Obviously, he's not really trying to remake certain film that obviously released back in the 80s and the 90s. It's just something new every time, and I'm really very proud of him to do that, because I'm a big fan of him. Obviously what he does with Predator, and looks like, became a bigger fan of him because he made that Portal short film and other films and other TV series. So yeah, I'll be looking out for Predator Badlands. I really think that the franchise itself, you look, I'm like an 18-year-old guy, I'm just a guy, I'm a teen, I'm a boy. But Predator and Alien, I'm not quite sure how, I'm not quite sure when it actually started for me, but I just started digging those films. I was like, damn, those films are really nice. And now, obviously, I'm interested in this entire franchise, or both franchises, obviously, Alien and Predator. I think, they're horror icons, but also they're quite, they're badass, right? An alien and a predator, man. What more does a man want, or what more do you want in life, right? A good film about a predator and an alien can make your day. But alright, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will check you later. Goodbye.